Now we're here in Tilapilon Hills in Doña Remedios, Trinidad, Bulacan. And this is precisely what we come here for. Of course, we spent the entire night shooting the night sky. And we have such amazing foregrounds right here. And that's already such a treat. However, we're also blessed with such good light here during the sunrise, which is happening right now. And this is the perfect time to illustrate that. This is a 360-degree view of an amazing landscape. And the common misconception is that since it's a wide view, you need to be shooting with wide lenses. And I strongly disagree. Now, this assumption did not come from nothing. Of course, it's actually safe to assume that if you're shooting a wide space, then you might want to be able to show most of it or a lot of it. But yes, that's true, but in most cases, there's actually more value in being able to chop the wide space down into little pieces. And of course, instead of a wide lens, what you can do is shoot tight. And honestly, the tighter you shoot, the more you'll be able to come up with nice things. And this is what's going on right now. Of course, my camera is shooting with a wide angle lens, so you're actually able to see already what I would get if I were shooting with, say, a 24mm lens. And anything wider will just make all the details much smaller. And that's precisely why for this shoot, my priority was this. And it's the Sony a7R5 with the 70 to 200mm G Master version 2, specifically because I want to be able to zoom in so much to get all the little patterns that you don't really see so much if you're shooting wide. And now what's actually beautiful is that since the sun is rising right now, the lighting is changing in such a rapid pace. And what it's doing first is highlighting the texture of the hills, which is pretty much what you come here for. So with a lens that can go up to 200mm, you can isolate all these patterns, and that's going to give you just so many satisfying looking curves from the hills. What's going on now is since the sun is coming up right behind a taller wall of mountains, it's starting to cast light on the things that are farther away from the background. So what's happening is that the rim of these hills right in front of me are being highlighted and sort of outlined by warm light while the background is kept dark. And that automatically creates a nice minimalistic feel just because it's drawing lines out of a dark background. The last time I was here was around 2021, and I was currently testing the first A7C with a 200mm focal length as well. And honestly, after just shooting maybe for 30 minutes during the sunrise, I was able to come up with a set for an entire exhibit. And today, my goal is to be able to shoot better with a larger sensor as well and with better optics, definitely. Now, having said all of that, how do we put this into context? It's basically this. If you're a beginning photographer who's trying out landscape photography, for most cases where it's a wide view and you have limited choices of lenses, most of the time your kit lens is actually going to be the most versatile for you. Your kit lens is actually a wide angle lens and a mini telephoto lens in one. And the good thing about that is they make it relatively cheaper so that you can explore focal ranges with it. So that's already a very good thing. If you need to shoot wide, just do 24 millimeters, and if you want to zoom in, then do 70. And you might have to do a bit of cropping. After that, the next step, if you have a walk around lens, an 18 to 105, 18 to 135, or if you're already shooting in full frame, a 24 to 105, or maybe even a 24 to 200 or a 28 to 200, then that's going to be the next step. And usually those lenses are still more affordable than ultra wide angle lenses. Now, of course, in a perfect world, then you can just get both of them. Get an ultra wide angle lens and get a telephoto lens, and you're good. You're probably gonna be set for most shoots that you want to do when it comes to landscape and travel photography. But the reality is that not everyone can get all of those lenses at once. So if what you do is you explore wide open spaces, then maybe you might have to consider getting a longer lens instead of a wider lens. And believe me, that's going to help you also in exploring other genres. And I don't think that's ever going to be a mistake. It's just a more cost effective way of planning the gear that you get for your photography journey. In case you noticed, in this video I'm using a new color available on all your favorite Peak Design straps, and if you're interested in getting this new colorway called Coyote, then you can find it on the link I put in the caption. So there, it's actually a very simple tip and you might not think so much of it, but when you're already shooting and you're already using lenses, you will realize that with the telephoto lens you can try so many things. With a longer lens, not even necessarily a telephoto like this, but for example, again, an extended walk around lens, or a budget telephoto like a 70 to 300, which is available in most brands. If you start with those, you can use it for landscape, you can use it for travel, you can use it for portraits, you can maybe even use it for daytime events. You can use it for, if you want to try wildlife, you want to try birding, I think that's also going to be the most economical first choice. If you're instead going to use an ultra wide angle lens, the most common uses for that is if you are shooting, say, a cityscape with your vantage point very close to the cityscape itself. If you're going to be shooting seascapes and you want to use a lot of foreground elements. But again, generally, a longer lens for a photographer starting out will have more to offer simply because you can explore so many more compositions in a given space, just like what I did for this shoot. And that's it. That's it. Of course, I've recently been saying this a lot, that if you don't know yet which gear will be useful for you, then you might probably not need it yet. And the best thing to do is try out. And how do you do that? Well, find yourself a community. I'm here with my friends from Focus Bulacan. It's a camera club I've been part of for, I think, over 7 years at this point. And they are people who just help each other around with new experiences, especially when there are less experienced new members. And I think anywhere in the world you can look for photography communities. And that's actually the best way to be able to try different genres of photography and also different kinds of gear. So it's a win-win situation. Yeah, there we go. If you have any questions, anything to add, anything to suggest, you can leave them down below in the comment section. Of course, my name is Nicco Valenzuela. I'm here right now in Tilapilon Hills, Doña Remedios, Trinidad in Bulacan. Again, of course, I'm a landscape and architectural photographer, and in this channel, I talk a lot about the shooting experiences and the gear that I use. And of course, if you're into that, you can click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And in any case, I'll see you in the next video.